Hi, welcome to The Shed. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to count and clap a simple rhythm and how to write in counts and circles. Let's start with the counts and circles. So here's our simple rhythm. We have two measures that are separated by a bar line, and then it ends with a double bar line. Now, this time signature right here tells us that we're in 4/4 time. That means that there is 4 beats in each measure. Now we're going to take each of those beats and we're going to split it into 2 equal parts. This is called the eighth note subdivision. So we're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for every measure. If we do everything correctly, each measure should start with beat 1 and end with the and of 4. All right, the first question you need to ask yourself when you're writing in counts and circles is, what is this? So what is this? Is this a note? Is this a rest? And then how many counts does it receive? And then what do I write underneath? So what is this? This is an eighth note. An eighth note receives 1/2 of a count of sound. So I start on beat 1, I'm going to write beat 1 underneath. Now since it is a note, I'm going to circle it. What's next? I already did beat 1, so the next thing has to start on the and of beat 1. This is another eighth note. It receives 1/2 of a count, so I'm going to write and. Since it's a note, it gets a circle. All right, the next thing, what is this? This is a quarter rest. A quarter rest receives 1 count of silence. So I'm going to write 2 halves of the beat underneath there, and I'm not going to circle it because it's not a note. What's this? This is a quarter note. A quarter note receives 1 count of sound. So the next 2 counts that I have here, 3 and, the next 2 halves I'm going to go underneath, and then I'm going to circle it. We have 2 more eighth notes. They start on beat 4 and the and of 4, so I'm going to write them out and circle them. Next measure is going to start on beat 1. But first, what is this? Is this a note? Is it a rest? What kind of a note or what kind of a rest is it? All right, so this is a half note. A half note receives 2 counts of sound. So it gets 1 and 2 and. I'm going to write that in. And then since it's a note, I'm going to circle it. This next thing up here, it's another rest. It's a quarter rest. It comes after the and of beat 2, so it's 3 and, no circle. And then finally we have another quarter note, and it's 4 and with a circle. So now, when you're going to clap these things, there's only 3 things your hands can do. They can either come together with an attack, they can be apart for a release, or they can be together for a sustain. Now we look at the numbers and the ands here to tell us to tell our hands what to do. If a number or an and is at the beginning of a circle, it's an attack. If a number or an and is inside the circle, it's a sustain, so your hands are together. And if a number or an and is outside the circle, it is a release. So on beat 1, it's an attack. On the and of 1, it's an attack. On beat 2 and the and of 2, it is a release. On beat 3, it's an attack. On the and of 3, since it's inside this circle, it is a sustain, so your hands stay together. Okay, I'm going to count and clap this rhythm to show you what it should look and sound like when you count and clap something. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's how to count and clap a simple rhythm and how to write in counts and circles. See you in the shed.